Howdy all, Malex Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Okay, I am running off to... I think I'm gonna go back to my base, my old base. I think is my plan here, because I feel like there's a good chance that I have... there's a good chance that I have machine parts there, which I need like 20 of them for the workbench, and I've got like 3 here, so I'm gonna see how many I have over there. See if I can't save myself a little time looting things. We'll see how that goes. Yep, been pretty cold this week, which is crazy. I mean, it's October, but I feel like it's been colder than normal. Where am I? I'm on the wrong road, and I'm running the wrong direction. That's where I am. So, I don't know if I'm going to get out and do any yard work today. Which I know is what I normally do after I'm done with work for the week. I'm debating... I might wait a week to mow the lawn. I think it's supposed to be a little warmer next week, but I'll get one more lawn mow in there before the end of the season. Yeah, work's keeping me busy. Over summer it wasn't as busy, and kind of got used to having the extra time, but you know, I probably prefer working more and getting paid more. Uh, and but man, it does eat into any time. Well, that, and I can never schedule going to sleep and waking up. I don't know. I'm terrible at it. I I know last night my niece, I was getting dinner, and they were talking about what they were going to do after dinner, and I'm like, well, I'm just grabbing my dinner and going back to work. And she's like, how hard is your job that you have to work all the time? I'm like, well, it's not easy for sure, but I mean, I don't find it... It's not easy, but it's not like calculus, right? And I'm like, yeah, the problem is it's not that it's, you know, so difficult that it takes me this long to do it. It's that I, I didn't get to bed till 11. You know, and if I could just bring myself to wake up at a normal time, I think things would be better. You know, I feel like the problem, well, it's not a problem per se. I, uh, this is why I have the sleeping habits I do. When I was a child, I grew up on a dairy farm, and I had chores, and so I would have to get up and do chores, and then when I get home from school, I'd have to do chores, and you know, and then when I got into my, I think it was mid-teens, like 14, 15, somewhere in there, we stopped being dairy farmers, and you know, by that point, I had started doing whole shifts, basically, with just me and one other guy, and you know, did we do it after dinner or before dinner? I feel like it was before dinner. I think we started around 4:30, and then we get done about 6:30, somewhere in there, and then we'd eat dinner, and you know, and then once that stopped, well, I was in the habit of getting up super early, and so I continued to get up at like 5:30 in the morning. But now that I didn't have to do all the crazy hard manual labor that I was doing before, um, and I started playing like sports teams and stuff, but I found that I couldn't sleep at night, and so and then I super love to read, and reading is a problem. I'll admit it. Reading is a problem, and I find that I sometimes will read till like 5 in the morning. I mean, I wouldn't do this if I had a job that was on a schedule, right? I mean, my job is on a schedule, but my I work from home and I don't really interact with other people. Uh, and so I get work and then I do the work and then I send back the work. And so when all of that is done, right, and I put in my time for the day, for the week, whatever, then I'm done. And so it doesn't matter what time I start, just as long as I get it all done during the week, right, kind of thing. And so I'm disciplined enough that I work Mondays through Fridays, which is good. Like, this is not a job you could do if you weren't disciplined enough to keep on some kind of schedule. But I don't seem to be disciplined enough to keep myself on. Where is the ladder? Oh, there it is. And so anyway, so then I found myself reading till like 2, 3 in the morning, and then getting up at 5. I don't know how. I don't know how. Okay, what do we got in here? Need this. I need this. Need this. I need these. I should take these. I'm gonna need some of those. I'll take that. Should take that. Should take that. That. Pipes are pretty easy to come by, I feel like. Only 3 parts here. Dang, you shouldn't even be in here at all. You shouldn't be in here either. You shouldn't be in here either. Okay. Medicine, do I have... No, those are vitamins. Dang it. I need, I was hoping there'd be some, well, you know what? Give me this. I was hoping there'd be some, listen, my brain will kick in here in a second. I was hoping that there would be some antibiotics. Okay. You know what I didn't see in here? A wrench. Just kind of what I was hoping that I accidentally had over here. Really? You get murky water out of this now? Crazy. Crazy. And I didn't build any garden here. Interesting. Now I'm going to slow walk it back to my base. I was hoping for more parts, but that didn't happen. So, when I was in high school, man, I would stay up till 2:30, 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., and then get up at 5:30 a.m. To go to school. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then once I graduated from high school, and started college, when my friends got me into MMO called EverQuest. And dude, I was obsessed with that game. I would play it if I wasn't at school or asleep. I was playing that game. What's crazy is that was in the days of dial-up, and we only had one phone line, and so people would have to come to me to ask me to stop so they could use the telephone. Like, I seriously was just on it constantly. So I feel like my sleep time got a little better there because I did have college, and then from EverQuest 1, I progressed into EverQuest 2, and um, so still, I mean, with EverQuest 2, either I was probably playing it or I was asleep or at college. And then, after I got out of EverQuest 2 and all that stuff kind of fell apart, and then college was over. Um, then, by the time I got done with college, the thing about college was that I went to um, a local, what do we call them? A satellite branch, for the university I went to. And, so a lot of the classes there were night classes, but you'd also have day classes. So I could have a class at 8 in the morning and then a class at 6 at night, and that was crazy. And then when I graduated, then I started actually teaching at the same college, and it was the same. I might teach a class at 8 in the morning. I might teach a class at 6 o'clock at night. I might have a class at 8 in the morning and 6 o'clock at night on the same day. I might have a class at 8 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, and then 6 at night, on the same day. And so there were days that I was at college for like 16 straight hours. It's crazy. And, but you also would have whole days where you did nothing because there were no classes. And so I really got a messed up sleep schedule. Am I even going the right way at this point? Yeah, okay. I realized I didn't check the map and I just picked a direction. I guess I could have looked at my compass. And so, after I stopped teaching college, well, after they shut down the satellite campus, not all the satellite campuses, just the one that I was at. And, well, that's not true. It wasn't just the one I was at, but there was some improprieties with the budgeting and stuff. It turns out. I don't think it was from my campus. I think it was from the main campus. And, well, I mean, it's complicated. It's complicated. Basically, basically, we had the big recession, and so there were lots of people out of work from like factories. And so the state I'm in had a program where factory workers could go and get college classes, and it was paid for by the state. And so that was our busiest time. Like there were the it's super crazy what went down at my college. So the college I went to, university, whatever you call it. I mean it's called a university, so it's a university. I just call it college. But what the deal was is that it was an accelerated program, and so instead of 2 15-week semesters per year, you would have 3 10-week terms. And so in the time that other colleges, universities were doing the same material in 15 weeks, we would do it in 10. And cover the same material, use the same books, all that stuff. Just that we got in basically 3 semesters per year, rather than 2. And even though, and so eventually, what happened was, so that was the structure for our college. And then we had classes basically all year, because there was we did a winter term, a spring term, a fall term, winter term, spring term, and then a summer term. And so usually you didn't go to the summer term, but you could. And so there were fewer students in the summer term. But anyways, so we had the big recession that happened, and the state was paying for classes, and so they really beefed up the size of the staff at the college, the university as a whole, and they brought on a lot of administrative staff. I think our campus had like nine administrative staff in the daytime, because of that, and they really only needed like 3. So you can imagine at the bigger campuses what happened. At the main campus, what happened. And so, so then that program stopped happening, and so nobody's paying for the classes, so all those factory workers stopped taking classes, but now you have all this administrative staff hired, and so there were a lot of firings, layoffs, whatever you want to call them, a lot of restructuring of everything. And so in the middle of all that, there were 15-week universities stopped accepting that our programs were the same as their programs, and so students couldn't transfer. And so they decided that during all the restructuring that we would restructure to match the 15-week. It was weird because we were accredited by the same organizations, so I never understood how they wouldn't accept the 10-week as the 15-week. I think maybe it was an hour thing, because I don't know, college is weird, and it's like by how many hours you put into something instead of whether or not you completed the class with the same exams, the same everything. I can't even imagine stretching out some of those 10-week classes to 15 weeks because there would be nothing to do. And so where's my... Oh, it's right there. So when they decided to switch from 10-week to 15-week, we had all these students who were on the 10-week stuff. And so they needed to finish their 10-week stuff. And so we were told as staff that what would happen was they would finish the 10-week stuff. And they just built a new building, and we had a new program at the new building and stuff. And it was like an in-demand program too. Like we had all these in-demand programs. I didn't understand. There were several programs that we ran that, because that's one of the things about the university I taught at, is that different areas had different programs, and so our area ran programs specific to our area. And so they were really like in-demand stuff, and the classes were always full. And then they're like, oh, well, we're switching from the 10-week to the 15-week so that we can match the other universities, and they stopped, complaining. And so when they, yeah, okay, I'm on the right one here. So when they did that, they stopped they stopped taking new students, right? Because obviously, how are you going to take new students to programs that are no longer going to be running the 10 weeks? And so the plan was to finish out the 10-week stuff and then swap over to the 15-week stuff. Like it was really irritating because the administrator for our facility came in and told us that they were going to open back up with the 15-week. The president of the university came in and told us the same thing. And then So then they needed to run down the 10-week classes, and it was only supposed to take was it a year? A year of classes, I think. It was 2 years of classes, year and a half of classes, year and a half of classes, I think. It was going to be everybody in the 10-week classes had to do, if they wanted to finish the 10-week version, they had to do the fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, and then summer again. And so everything seemed to be going the direction that I felt it should be going. And then my students came in and they were like, hey, we're signed up for the next set of classes and your name's not on any of the your name's not on anything. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know they were doing those yet. I hadn't been contacted about that. And so I emailed the my supervisor. I was like, hey man, just want to let you know that I'm available for, the classes like normal. And he's like, oh yeah, I just haven't got to it yet. Now he was bad at his job. Okay. I'm gonna assume that's the airplane. It just sounds like a truck drove by, but he was very bad at his job. It would be like 2 days before classes before he would finally get around to assigning things. It was crazy. And so I didn't think anything of it, right? Because it is what it is. And then the students come back and they're like, yeah, so they've updated our class list and it now has him listed as teaching our classes. And this was like, I've been teaching these students for their whole time now. And so they were very confused as to why their last set of classes would be someone new. So I, all right. Oh. I don't think I have any water, buddy. How about some goldenrod tea? And so, yeah, I kept emailing him, and then on top of that, it was, we were in the fall term, and so we were about to hit winter break, so we basically took a month off? I think we got a month off for winter break. Is it a month? 2 weeks off? 3 weeks off? It must be 3 weeks off. The last 2 weeks of December, the first week of January. 3 weeks. And he just kept emailing me back. I haven't looked into it yet. And so I'm like, well, this is sounding like maybe he is looking into it. And he isn't supposed to tell us that things aren't happening. And so come on. How are you not dead, man? Ooh, that guy took a lot of stabs. So, that's when I looked for a new job, and I got the job that I have now. And, because the thing with the job I have now is that because it's not on a schedule, I could still teach, and then I just have 2 jobs. Because I was out of all my MMOs at that point, so I had a lot of free time happening. And so, yeah, they never contacted me. They never said anything. And then one day someone goes, hey, did you see in the paper that they're shutting down your campus? And I'm like, what? No, I hadn't heard that. And so I look, and the president of the college, president of the university, told the paper, which wasn't our local paper, was a paper for a different county altogether, that they were shutting down our campus because there had been no new students in over a year. Right? No new students because they weren't accepting new students. Which is insane to me. insane. What a lie. What a lie. Uh, there weren't new students, and so there was no reason to. You shut the whole campus down. We weren't even finished with. We weren't even finished. Like there was still I think they finished out the last 2 terms, but they shut the campus down 3 terms, so 30 weeks plus the 2 week gap plus the 3 or 4 week gap. It must have been 4 weeks. So 36 weeks. 36 weeks before the end of the school year. Which means 36 weeks. That's 36 weeks before the end of the school year, they're like, no new students are applying. Like, okay, we haven't reached admission season. All right, let's see, what is this? Shotguns, don't use them. Armor crafting, I do use that. And oh yes, the electrical crafting skill again. Nice, we're up to 25 on that electrical crafting skill. I need a wrench, buddy. I need a wrench. But yeah, so it's a good thing I found this job, because can you imagine if I had just waited, thinking that they were going to continue my job and then just never contacted me about how they were shutting everything down? I don't understand, because they just spent like $30,000 on that new building, and every class for that program was full. Like there was a wait list to get on that program, because they didn't have enough seats in the classrooms for all the people trying to take this new program for this new building. And like, I'm just like, who's in charge of this place? We're the only university with the other program that we were running. All those classrooms were always filled. There's a wait list for them. We did a lot of medical stuff. Our students were like the top of the list. Like every year they release the list for the state of who has the most students passing the medical certification exams, and we were always at the top of the list. Our university had one of the top cyber defense programs in the country. I'm just like, what in the world? What in the world? What did you do that you had to shut all this stuff down? Like, crazy. And I think it just came down to they had too much staff at the main campus and they didn't want to fire anybody there, so they just shut down all the smaller satellite campuses. It was crazy. I don't care, whatever. I got this job and I like this job better. It's got less people I have to deal with. But to not contact your employees to let them know, because you're afraid that they would not hire on, I guess, or that they might go look for another job. I don't know. I just like, everybody was surprised. It wasn't just me. Everybody. I like Spear Hunter book. It wasn't like I was the only one out of the loop. Like, oh, did you see this? Did you see this article? Yes, I've now seen the article. What are you gonna do? I'm like, well, I already started hunting for a new job, so. The UFO Museum. Ooh. Why is this sign here? You do not look like a UFO, buddy. You do, though. Hey, buddy, I want a UFO. You appear to be all out of stock, though. You do have a magazine on handguns, though. And cooking. Oh, steak and potatoes unlocked. Getting closer and closer to the good stuff. Steak and potatoes, I think, is a good one, though. But, yeah, so because of my weird jobs and the weird times of my classes, I definitely have a screwed up sleep schedule that I've never been able to fix. Like, I've tried. I've got this thing, okay? If I set an alarm, which is probably part of all this, if I set an alarm, then I can't sleep. I keep waking up to check the clock to see how close I am to when I have to get up. So I hate doing anything. Okay, that's weird. Why is your staff so hostile? Ooh. This is the tiniest UFO museum ever. But yeah, you know, time to get up today. I think today, again, 11 o'clock. I just stayed up reading way too late. That's what I do. I think I've made it worse. I recently was reading. Okay, I take vitamins, and occasionally I will read about something that has like actual medical. Okay, they're on both sides. Actual medical documentation that it affects things, and I'll be like, I think I might try that. And got a lot of arthritis-y things. So I take, dude, get out here. So I take, omega-3 and turmeric, which greatly helps my arthritis-y knuckles. They don't ache as much. And always had it. It runs in the family. It's not like old age stuff. It's just genetic stuff. And so so that's been pretty amazing. But I recently started taking this other stuff that's supposed to help your metabolism kind of thing. And I'll tell you what. I don't know that it helps my... What are the chances that there's not a dog here? Not modify, I want to repair that. And, so I started taking this, what is it I take? Black seed. Black seed? Well, you're not a dog. I can't believe there's not a dog out here. There's always a dog in these places. And, that stuff... I don't know how much it helps my metabolism. But it definitely helps me not feeling tired, which is your metabolism. But it makes me not tired. Not like I'm hyped, just I don't ever really feel super tired. Which means at night, when I'm reading, I can go right to sleep. I just close my eyes. Maybe do a little light meditation to sleep. And, you know, that works. But, dude, I don't ever, almost ever get to the point where I'm like, ugh, can't keep my eyes open anymore. Just constantly just feeling normal. And, like, I love it in the daytime when I'm working. Chicken? But that also has not helped my trying to get on a regular sleep schedule, let me tell you. Let's see. Started watching The Strain again. Never have made it through that. One of my favorite vampire book series. By Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. My niece likes to watch scary things. And so my sister was like, hey, you remember that vampire show we tried to watch that one time? I'm like, you're gonna have to give me a little more than that, because pretty much I watch all vampire shows. Not all vampire shows, but most vampire shows. And so I realized she's talking about The Strain, and so we started watching The Strain again from the beginning, since I had never finished it. I don't know why I haven't finished it. I love the book series. The book series is so good. And the show seems pretty... Oh, look, it's a big UFO in here. Oh. Oh my. Go back in the UFO. Please, go back in the UFO. Oh no, I didn't load it. Oh, dang it. Dang it. But, yeah, that's been fun so far. I think we're supposed to watch It this weekend. So that'll be... I've seen it before, but she hasn't seen it. We'll have to check to make sure it's okay to watch, but... Yeah. I do love me some horror movies. Alright, well... I think this is a good spot to call it for today. So with that, bearing the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.